Hi there and welcome to this bonus episode of the Gazette's Hockey Inside Out show. I'm Stu Cowan of the Gazette and I'm joined by my regular partners here, former Canadiens teammates and 1986 Stanley Cup champs, Rick Green and Chris Nilan. Knuckles, Game 3, the end of Game 3 against the Sabres, Arber Xhekaj delivered a pretty good punch to the face of Sam Carrick, knocking him down, a glove punch to the face. Arber was fined $3,385. Money well spent?
Yeah, listen, the guy gave him a shot. Things were getting ugly there. The guy gave him a shot, and he gave one right back to him. I'm fine with that. And, yeah, money well spent. Listen, are they going to sign Arber next year? I would hope so. But, and I know he would like to. I know he loves playing for this organization. Why wouldn't you? But, he certainly wants to play. And if they do sign him and they get him for the right money, which I'm sure they can, if they want him. My problem, when I look at it from the outside, not my problem, but their problem is, well, we got Reinbacher coming, right? They got this other kid, Angstrom. But the one thing those two guys lack is his toughness. And if you think you can get by without a tough defenseman like him, then they won't sign him. But if they do, I'd like to see the kid play during the regular season and get a real opportunity to show what he can do instead of in and out all the time. I think it's not conducive to him growing as a player, and maybe they just don't have that confidence in him. But I would love to see him stay here, and if he doesn't, there'll be plenty of teams that'll want him.
At this point, he's certainly past Jaden Struble, and the depth chart, it looks like, at least for the playoffs. Rick, what have you liked or not liked about the way Arber has played during the series?
Well, I like the fact that he was sending the message that that's unacceptable, and take the fine, punch him in the head, say, I'm here for that. If anybody wants to go beyond that, I'm there for it. But the reality is, he played 3 minutes and 46 seconds. Confidence in him and his ability to do the job. I know as a player that would be the first and foremost concern that you would have, that they don't really have a lot of confidence in me to use me. And moving forward, to get him signed, is this going to be the deal for next year? Are they going to use him sparingly? Are they going to put him in, put him out, and something like that? No matter what he says about how much he loves Montreal, which is a fact, he wants to look at his career and his development, and I think it's really tough to develop a kid like that where you're in, you're out, and you're not logging enough minutes in critical times, killing penalties, big body, being used more often in some situations to build up his confidence and allow him to develop. And it's going to be interesting to see what they do with him and what Arber wants to do next year, if the conversations are being had on what are you going to do for me? Are you going to help me develop and give me more than 7 or 8 minutes per game? And if not, maybe he's just going to say that it's not going to work for me, and we'll find option B, if you will. But hopefully not. I think that he's well respected, obviously, and liked, and can do the job when given the opportunity. He just has to be given the opportunity.
Rick, Marty spoke before Game 4 about how, he likes to roll with the 5 defensemen mainly, and either spot Xhekaj or Struble in there. As a former defense coach, if they go on a longer run in these playoffs, is that a concern that the 5 guys that you are rolling over are going to have not much left by the time you get to the end of this?
I don't think so. We rotated 5 back in our day, and providing you get the rest that you need in between games, and you're not running into injuries, you can do it. And obviously, if you look at the performance and the pairings and how they do the rotation, they seem to be complementing each other and getting the job done. So it's a non-issue. I think that they're able to handle that, and until we see other things happening that are maybe not so positive, then they'll continue on that same path, and the results are very good, and you don't see a lot of mistakes being made there, no matter who they're playing with. So that's an advantage and a bonus for them back there in the blue line.
Lots of scouts in the press box during these playoff games, Knuckles. I'm sure, as you mentioned earlier, if the Canadiens don't have room or if they want to move Arber Xhekaj, I'm sure there's a lot of other teams out there who would like to have that type of guy in the lineup. But, we're talking about that punch that he was fined for. He's towing that line, right? I mean, you had to tow that line when you were playing. In the playoffs, is it even more difficult trying to pick your spots when you're going to give a guy a punch to the face?
Yeah, it's always difficult. And listen, I say it, it was just a different time. I got away with a lot of stuff that I probably could have got called for. And so did a lot of other guys back then, right? Because the referee would kind of manage the game he thought best. You could slash guys. You could hook on guys. You can tug on guys. Can't do that anymore. So, yeah, he does have to, kind of, there is a fine line, but it's really difficult. I won't say it was as difficult for me because, honestly, we had such a good team, penalty killing team, and goaltending. Like, guys really stepped up. I often found out when I was in the penalty box, and I'm like, oh my God, I hope they don't score. And the boys stepped up to the plate more often than not. So, and not that I took advantage of that, I just had a little more leeway than certainly Arber does. There's no question.
Yeah. You never really needed any help when it came to the tough part, Knuckles. But would you have loved back in the day having an Arber Xhekaj in the lineup with you?
Oh, yeah. You kidding me? A defenseman like that is, yeah, that can be invaluable, But, yeah, it would have been fun to play with Big Arber. I love the kid.
Does he remind you, Rick, of anybody you played with or coached, just the way he plays?
No, nobody that really comes to mind other than, to see that type of player in your grouping. And you know very well that the opposition knows when he's in the lineup, and that's a good thing. And they don't push the envelope too far, knowing very well that somebody's going to be there to straighten things up, and Arber would be the first guy to do that.
Yeah, you can see Sabres players, Knuckles, sort of looking over their shoulder when he's on the ice and when Josh Anderson's on the ice, and I think that's a big key in the playoffs, right?
Yeah, Josh has really stepped his game up in the playoffs here. But like I say, those guys are invaluable, those big forwards that can skate and forecheck and hit. He's been playing the body. That's what you need from him, right? And those are the type of players get it done in the playoffs and are able to be standing at the end, when you're hoisting that trophy over your head. So you need guys like that, there's no question. And Josh has certainly done that in the playoffs so far.
Yeah, Arber and Josh Anderson, two guys built for the playoffs. Anyway, that's it for this bonus episode. I hope you all enjoyed it out there. We'll have a couple of more bonus episodes coming up over the next few days, so you can look for those. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the Hockey Inside Out YouTube channel. And in case you didn't already know, Hockey Inside Out is available now on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.